Okay, in this video we're going to have a look at how we can shoot the full sensor for video on the Panasonic GH5, which is also known as open gate. So the sensor on the Panasonic GH5 is an MFT sensor, so you can sort of see on there it's quite a kind of square shape, and the sensor aspect ratio is actually 4:3. So generally we deliver video in 16:9 traditional kind of widescreen. But if we shoot open gate, or the kind of 6K option in this case, at 4:3, what we get is a little more information on the top and the bottom of our screen. So if you want to repurpose the footage, for example, say you want to create square video, or you want to create 9:16 vertical content, then it's really good for that, because you've got some additional space around the kind of video framing to actually do that. So you've got a bit more information on the kind of top and bottom of the frame, so it just makes it a lot easier. It's also can be really good for shooting 4K and just having that additional bit of space for, you know, you could do it helps with stabilization. It's a little bit better for, you could do kind of digital panning and things like that, so, or even reframe if you wanted to. So there's quite a lot of uses for it. So what we're going to do is quickly just have a look and see how we can get into it and what tools and options make it useful to actually use. When we're saying 6K, so if we jump into the camera, we just go into the menu and we'll just jump into, so in the video options, you can essentially be in any recording format. What's going to happen is it's going to override all of this. So we're not looking in the recording quality menu, because you can see in there we can only go up to 4K. What we want to do is jump into the top menu, and then in here in the first menu you can see we've got this option here, anamorphic 4:3, and then if we switch this on, you can see the top menu here is actually 6K. So it's not a traditional 6K because it's anamorphic, which you would kind of de-squeeze to get the actual frame size you want, which isn't going to be 16:9. So we're essentially, as I say, we're shooting 4:3 footage aspect ratio. So it's not saying the GH5 can shoot 6K footage at 16:9, because it can't. So when we click on that, we can go into there, and you'll be able to see when we come back, you can see these lines here down the side. It's probably help actually if I took that off. You can see we've got these actual marker lines down the side now, and that's because we are shooting more of a square format. So like I say, it's really good for reusing footage. You're essentially just getting more information in there, but we do have a couple of drawbacks. I mean, the main one being we can only go up to 25 frames a second in there. So if you're looking to shoot above kind of 25 frames a second, or retrospective like kind of 24 in NTSC, this probably isn't going to be the option for you. If you're not seeing this option in the camera, the issue there is that you're going to need to upgrade the firmware to version 2.1, and I've done videos about updating firmware, so I'll link to one of those up in the corner. But essentially you just need to stick the firmware update on a card, get this up to version 2.1, and then you'll be seeing the modes that I'm seeing here. So you can see really we've just got this one option. So we've got it's the 6K 4:3, 25 frames a second, and it's 420 10-bit long op and 200 megabits a second. So it's really good actually that you can get 10-bit out of this. It's that's really nice that's actually an option. So it's a really decent kind of mode to have. But there are some things that you'll need to do just to kind of make this work. So make sure for the de-squeeze on the display, you don't want that switched on, because we're not actually doing it for anamorphic, we're just shooting it straight out of the camera. So you can switch that off. And then also if you come down into the next video menu, if we scroll through here, you'll want to go to the stabilizer option, and you can see here it's actually switched on anamorphic stabilization. And we don't actually want that on. The stabilization remains on, but it's just not anamorphic stabilization, so we can just switch that off. And then the other thing that you may find useful, or may not, it's if you jump into the C wrench menu, monitor display, come into here, we've also got the option to jump into the video guideline, which again, I believe this came into the camera in 2.0 or 2.1, so you'll need that there. And you'll be able to bring your guide back for 16:9, so you're not kind of left wondering sort of what a 16:9 shot would look like. You can probably just about see there's a border at the top and bottom. What I'll do is, if we jump back into that, you can also do a 1:1 guideline, so you can just about see it does a square one as well. So 1:1 for square, 16:9 for that. Or you can just switch it off and just record in 4:3. But that's giving you, you know, the idea of what that 16:9 frame would look like with that switched on. So it's quite unintrusive. It's just kind of there at the just that dotted border, just so you can frame your shot and just kind of hit record, and you sort of know what you're going to get. And that's it really. That you know, between those options, that's kind of it. You can go in and you can start shooting in the you know, full sensor or open gate on the GH6, and yeah, it can be a really good option if you're happy shooting in that frame rate and with the video options that are available there. So yeah, hopefully this video's helped. If it has, give the video a like. If you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe.